What's going on, guys? Vegas, baby. This is a segment where we go over our locks, chances, and wild cards. Then we give our good, the bad, and the ugly from the week of anything we can bet on. I'm your residential mathematician, Jackie Chism, trying to go over these lines again. We definitely gonna step right back into week 16. I gotta go over the good, the bad, the ugly quick. We're gonna start with the good because it's been a crazy week this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely want to start off with the Chiefs maintaining that number one seed over the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers are not playing well this year, but they're still a tough team. And for them to come out and blow them out like the way they did and not make sure that game was not close, even without Travis Kelce, it just was pretty good to see for them. Like, I mean, I don't like to see it as a Titans fan, but like the Chiefs are skying right now, and betting wise, they definitely are good to stay with right now. Next, I definitely want to talk about the Raiders covering their spread against the Broncos. Like, I definitely think that the Raiders are an underwhelming team, especially, but there's a lot of turmoil going on. For them to still be right there in the playoff hunt, 7-7, like with everything that's going on, I felt like they were a 7-7 team even without all the drama. But you know, like, kudos to them. I mean, like, just, well, you know, like, hats off to them for what they've been able to do, especially beating the Broncos, somebody they see twice a year. They always play tough even without, like, without a lot of their starters playing. A lot of injuries on the Broncos. They're definitely not a team you can trust, but still the Raiders have been wishy-washy pretty much this whole year. So that's good to see for them. I think I got a first this week as well. I'm actually going to, for a betting standpoint, I'm going to put the Browns in the good this week because they were able to cover their 3-point spread against the Packers. I mean, even with Baker's 4 interceptions, I mean, they still had over 200 yards rushing. Like, I mean, if Baker can get out of his own way, like, that team was actually pretty good to bet with these last couple of weeks as well. I liked what I saw from the rest of the team. Aaron Rodgers still Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams is still Devontae. So, I mean, like, they were able to, you know, put up enough points. But it still was a close game at that point. So, shouts out to the rest of the Bears other than Baker Mayfield the Browns, I'm sorry, than Baker Mayfield because, like, 4 interceptions, man, like, you can't win like that. But everybody else, including that running game, put them in position. All right. Now, I definitely want to roll right into the bad this week as well. And I can't start off with nobody other than the Ravens. Woof. Even though you don't have Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley in this game, like, you still would think that your defense would still be there. I know Marlon Humphreys is out. I know Marcus Peters is out. But the defense has still been solid up and down this year. They did get blown out earlier against the Bengals. So, being that they're a division opponent, you would honestly think that it would have been closer from a defensive standpoint. But Joe Burrow putting up 525 yards and 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Like, it's ridiculous in that one. Like, you would think that they would be at least a little bit more competitive on a defensive standpoint. So, I mean, I would like to see it as a Titans fan. But if you're a Ravens fan, or if you're a betting man, you did not like to see a 20-point blowout in that one. Next, I definitely wanted to talk about the New England Patriots as well, losing to the Bills in that one. I think they lost like 21-33. So, I mean, Josh Allen had his way at the end there, like controlling the clock, keeping the ball away from him. That offense for the Patriots was anemic and lethargic. Like, you just saw that they were one-trick ponies almost. And the hole that they were dug themselves in was not explosive enough to get them out of. So, I mean, they have a problem down there with lack of explosive weapons, and it showed in that one. Like, it's a different game when there's not 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds, you know, within the last matchup that they had earlier in the season. So, I mean, it's a good win for the Bills. They keep to try to control their own destiny. I think they got one of the weaker schedules to end out the season. But the Patriots, they definitely have a lot to worry about right now, especially as late in the season, losing 2 games in a row. You don't like to see it if you're a Patriots fan. If you're a rest of the AFC fans, you do like to see it though. Also in the bad, which is not like really too bad because they've already been in the ugly all year, is the Seattle Seahawks. The way that they lost that game to Nick Foles, like the offensive line for the Bears was iffy at points, but Nick Foles was able to move up and down the field, so shouts out to him. I think that the only reason why I'm putting the Seahawks in the bad is because of the decision making for the team that they played against. Nick Foles actually looked pretty decent. Like, I was watching the game and the highlights of it again, and just wondering to myself, like, why would you sign Andy Dalton if you have Nick Foles already? He's already played in your system. He's already won games in your system. He's already done well, and you owe him a crap ton of money. So it made no sense. You could have used that money to sign at least a offensive lineman or two, so that Carlos Dunlap is not just meeting at the quarterback with other guys. Like, it's a decision making process from the other team, and you still like give up the 2-point conversion and you still keep the game close. Like, for a team that's that inept right now from a head coaching standpoint, it's bad in itself. I don't see Russ coming back. I don't know if Pete Carroll's coming back or not, because he's obviously demonstrated that the team that he's building is not working right now. So look for him to blow it up and start over again. Man, that's just bad to see for a team that was consistently one of the best teams in the last 10 years. Whew. All right, guys, I definitely think we should go right into the ugly as well. Like, I'm gonna start off with it. Like, I need the Cardinals to win. So if the Cardinals win, the Titans are automatically in. We win our division. But they came out and it just looked like they didn't know what to do half the game. Like, the breeze wasn't there. Kyler really wasn't running. Besides that one big run at the beginning of the game, it just looked bad. I mean, their defense is banged up. I mean, offense, the D line can't stop the run. Carson Wentz looked good in this game, which is hard to say. I'm putting it on the Cardinals. They're in the midst of a terrible losing streak when they were winning with Colt McCoy and Eno Benjamin. Like, I just don't know what's going on right now once you start getting healthy. But, you know, D-Hop being out is a big deal, but it should not be that big of a deal for the offense. You know, like, he does, demand a lot of attention. He does, like, open up the offense a lot more for other people. But Cliff Kingsbury's supposed to be, an offensive guru, and he should be able to, dial up plays to help Kyler, get easier reads and faster reads to move down the field more. Because, I mean, right now it's a struggle. Like, they're looking for the big play, and that's it. If they don't get the big play, they're punting, or they're again lethargic down the field. Like, their running game is second thought, is afterthought. Even though Chase looks pretty well, like, it's just a sad sight to see. I would love to play them in the first round if I was the Titans, but even though they're in the other division, or anybody who will, like, because right now they just cannot get out of their own way. All right. I was watching the Texans and the Chargers game and just could not understand what was wrong with the Chargers that they could not pull away from them at that point. And at the end of the game, it's the Texans pulling away from the Chargers at the end. It just was a funky game. Like, but the Chargers have been shooting themselves in the foot all year. I mean, they look terrible at some points. That's not a game that they should have lost. I mean, they were 10-point favorites at one point that last week before the game started. It's ridiculous to see that, like, they definitely, like, just fumbled the game away. I mean, Justin Jackson had a good game besides that fumble. I think Herbert had an okay game until that pick six that he threw at the end, just overshooting the guy. But he was completely covered, and that was not the right read. I mean, it just looked bad, and you can see that their coaching and preparation was just lacking again. Good old Chargers football. I'm questioning if they will make the playoffs at this time, and in that case, you definitely deserve to be in the ugly right now. Another team that was sliding under the radar but definitely deserves to be in the ugly is the Minnesota Vikings right now. They had a great chance of saving their season and being a playoff team, but their current losing streak, including the Detroit Lions, is appalling. They cannot get out of their own way either. I mean, but I feel like that's just indicative of where the middle of the road Vikings have been the last few years with Kirk Cousins and Mike Zimmer, and just having so many pieces on that defense that's hurt and rotating in and out as well. It just sucks to see so much talent on that offense with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen, middling with the rest of the team as well. So I think that they're going to be in the ugly. They're going to end up missing the playoffs as well. They're going to end up blowing up their team if they want to try to be successful. Going to be going forward with the key pieces that they have around. So look for that just to be a terrible situation this offseason. All right, guys, we definitely want to go right into some NBA primetime games as well. I'm looking at my list right here, and we definitely got the Bulls and traveling to Atlanta to play the Hawks. I'm not sure what's going on with the Hawks right now. Even before the COVID outbreak that's going through, that sat out Trae Young and Clint Capella, but they have just been playing up and down. Some games that they're running up and down the field. John Collins and Trae Young look great. Bogdanovich and Gallinari look like the snipers. And in other games they can't defend, and you wonder where's Cam Reddish again. To be so talented, man. It's a crazy year for them. I imagine that with all the injuries and COVID that's happening, that's hit them as hard as well. It's gonna keep them inconsistent for a time being. But I'm definitely gotta go with the Bulls, man. The Bulls are playing great. DeRozan and Levine are the duo from hell. I would never want to try to scheme up and try to defend those two. They can score at all levels. They can do whatever they want. I mean, once they get Lonzo Ball back and Caruso back, man, you got some great defenders and passers as well. Kobe White's playing out of his mind right now. Vucevic is giving him something. Their defense is very good, and as long as they can give DeRozan and Levine something every game, with Vucevic contributing, they're going to be a tough team this year. All right, guys. Next, the Nets are traveling to LA to play the Clippers. I'm not sure if KD is going to be back for that one. I know Kyrie will not be able to play in LA. So, look for Patty Mills and James Harden to continue rolling like they did against the Lakers. But I think that I actually like the Clippers in that one, only because they just lost such a hard game. B.J. Boston played one of the best games of his life, missing the final shot at the end yesterday. So look for them to definitely come back pretty strong. I know they're missing PG-13 for the next probably month or so, but the rest of that team is very talented. Look for them to push the Brooklyn Nets without KD. All right, next we definitely got the Boston Celtics traveling to Minnesota to play the T-Wolves. I actually like the T-Wolves in that one. Even if D'Angelo Russell is not able to go, as long as Cat and Ant-Man is there, I think that they're gonna have a good shot at beating the Celtics. Celtics are an iffy team, man. They you never know what you'll get from them. They could come out hot and then turn around and blow the lead like they did on Christmas. That's a crazy team. I'm not comfortable with them in this game, even though this is a very even matchup, record-wise and probably team-wise as well. soon. But look for, like, since the T-Wolves are at home, look for them to win that one. All right, Tuesday, we got the Wizards going to Miami to play the Heat. I actually like the Heat in that one. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are heating up right now. No pun intended. But they're definitely playing really good basketball down there. Look for them to continue their trend against the Wizards. I think the Wizards still missing Bradley Beal. So until they get him back, I'm not going to trust them against like some of the best or the top level teams in the East. All right, also on Tuesday, we got the 76ers traveling to Toronto to play the Raptors. I actually like Joel Embiid and in his matchup in this one. I just don't think that there's anybody who's going to stop him from the Raptors standpoint. Look for them to try to keep him out of the lane, but Joel Embiid can do it from everywhere. He's a great passer as well, good rebounder. Like, he's just a monster right now, and he looks like he's healthy and he looks like he's happy. So, like, that's a scary point, man, when you get Joel Embiid healthy and happy. They're playing really well around him. Tobias Harris is back and healthy. Seth is definitely still healthy. He's hitting like wherever. I like Tyrese Maxey. He's a definitely fast point guard that's playing really well. Thibault's back and healthy, so I mean I'm liking what I see out of 76ers. All right, Wednesday we got the Clippers traveling back to Boston to play the Celtics. I actually like the Celtics at home in that one only because the Celtics are in the Garden. I think Jason Tatum is iffy back and forth. So, I mean, that's going to be a big game for him and Jaylen Brown in that one. Look for them to bounce back just because they're at home. I'm just feeling that. I feel that the Clippers are going to have a tough road trip. So, I mean, I think, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to go with them in that one. I'm just going to roll with Boston. All right, and also on Wednesday we got the Lakers traveling to my hometown, Memphis, and playing the Grizzlies. I actually like the Grizzlies in that one because I just don't think the Lakers are going to get it together right now. Ja's playing out his mind. Desmond Bane's playing really well. Look, Steven Adams back and healthy. Jaren Jackson Jr. is good. Hopefully we can get Dylan Brooks back. And we got some players, man. They got some talent down there in Memphis. I like what they're doing. I hope they keep it up right now, especially if they can keep everybody healthy. All right, on Thursday, the 76ers are traveling to Brooklyn to play the Nets. I actually like Brooklyn back at home in that one. I'm not so sure if KD will be back, but I'm just thinking of timeline as well, since especially when you play on Christmas, that because he is vaccinated, he should be back for that one. So I'm gonna go with the Brooklyn Nets on that one. Just speculating that KD will be back on a purely timeline basis, knowing that he was vaccinated and that he should be back before then. All right, next we got the Cavaliers going to Washington D.C. to play the Wizards. I actually like the Cavs in that one. Man, they are flying this year. Like, surprise, they are still playing really well in that one. Again, if no Bradley Beal's back to keep them in possession, but keep them in a game possession by possession, then I'm just going to go with the Cavaliers. They've got a great defensive team. J.B. Bickerstaff is a great defensive-minded coach. They just extended him as well. So shouts out to the Cavaliers. They're playing really well right now. I feel like they're going to keep it going, especially like right after Christmas. Everybody's ready to go and hungry for the huge grind of the season, and they're built for it. So like, we're going to keep watching. All right, last but not least, we got the Warriors traveling to Denver to play the Nuggets. Joker did not look well defensively for me in the last game that I just seen him in against the Clippers. Like, he's one of the slowest players in the league. He gets it done, passing, dribbling. Like, he's good at like a good handling the ball. He's good with a jump shot and turn around using his frame back to the basket. But it's just you just see that like the Warriors are just too fast. They move like too much for them for a Joker-led team, and I just feel like it's not even going to be a game. I mean, Steph and Jordan Poole, and are playing out of their mind. Draymond's running the show down there as well. Like, they're doing great things. I think that the Warriors not going to slow down for the Nuggets. I'm sorry. All right, guys, we definitely want to roll right into some of these bowl games right quick as well. All right, starting off, we got number 20 Houston versus Auburn. Auburn is an SEC team. They do play a lot of good competition all year, so seeing them playing somebody on a lower, like Power 5, a non-Power 5 conference, is even if they're ranked, is going to be an interesting battle in that one. I think that their quarterback, Bo Nix, is transferring to Oregon. So I'm not like, I don't think that they're going to have their starting quarterback in that one. They're going to use like one of the guys that they're premium up as well. Houston's playing out of their mind. This is a huge game for them, like big bowl game for a team and a non-Power 5 conference to be the SEC team. I want to see this game. I think that Houston's going to give them a run for their money. I'm going to go with Houston in that one. All right, next we got UCLA versus number 18 NC State. Chip Kelly. Ooh, he's a good one. I also like the quarterback down there, DTR. I'm following him. I hope that he can stay healthy and do the thing, but I'm going with NC State in this one. They're a good running team. I think that they're going to be they're going to do some crazy things. I saw them against North Carolina and just like in their rivalry game, and it was just ridiculous to see that comeback. Man, like they're nothing to sneeze at. They're definitely a team to watch out for. So look, they can put up points with anybody. So I'm definitely gonna roll with them in that one. Next, we got Maryland against Virginia Tech. Tua's little brother against Justin Fuente, former University of Memphis head coach. I actually like Maryland in that one. I just don't know. I'm just rolling with it. I think that Maryland's has a better quarterback in that one. They got a couple more pieces on offense that are fast. So, I mean, it's just going to be a barn burner. I feel like it could go either way. Whoever wins turnover battle is going to win that one. Next, we got number 19, Clemson versus Iowa State. I'm going to go with Clemson. I think that they've had a bad year, even just from the Clemson standpoint. Even though DJ Uiagalelei has had his up and downs, I think he's going to put it together. They're going to have some game plan and they're going to show some of those 5-star recruits that they have that's coming in next year. That's going to play big time minutes next year, and look for Clemson to run out the game with that one. Next, we got a big one in 14, Oregon versus number 16, Oklahoma. I actually like Oregon in that one. I think that they're going to be able to put up a lot of points. I think that Oklahoma and their rookie Caleb Williams is definitely going to put up some points as well. They have a stud wide receiver core. I like what Oregon's doing down there still. Like they're going to they just signed a new head coach from the Steelers. So, I mean, look for them to send Mario Cristobal the right way. Look for them to get ready for the next year. I just don't see how Oklahoma is going to match up. Their defense has some holes in it this year. So, look for it to be like a high scoring game. I'm just going to go with Oregon in that one. All right, next we got number 12 Pittsburgh versus number 10 Michigan State. I definitely like Michigan State in that one only because I know I've seen a couple of games of their running back. I do like the quarterback for Pittsburgh. He's going to be a high draft pick this year. He's got some talent. Definitely got some talent, but I think that the running game for Michigan State with that running back that they have is ridiculous. I think his name's Kenneth Walker. Man, he's ridiculous. And just off the top of my head, me knowing, just seeing the game, and he's a ridiculously good player. Look for them to run the ball down throat. Pittsburgh, I'm going with Michigan State now. All right, last but not least, it's on the hometown team. We got Tennessee playing against Purdue. I'm not liking Tennessee's chances in that one. As long as Tennessee can get the big plays like they know they can, like with that offense, they can be in that game, and they definitely have a chance of winning that. I've seen some highlights of Purdue's offense. They have some weapons out there that can light it up. They've missed Rondale Moore, who plays for the Cardinals now, but they have some nasty speed out there. And Tennessee has some laps in defenses every now and then. So I'm going to go with Tennessee only because it's in Nashville. The game's in Nashville. They're close to home. It's only a 3.5 hour drive from the campus of Knoxville. So to the state to LP Field. So look for Tennessee to maybe come out with this one, being in this game before, knowing playing in Nashville, being familiar. I know that Purdue hasn't been to Nashville much, so it's going to be a different experience for them as well. So I'm just going to roll with Tennessee in this one. All right, guys. When I come back, we definitely going to go over hot news and not news.
Brought to you by the Chism channel at TCC Productions.